lot of energy in here today. On
Yeah,
that
I'm running on like not that much sleep from this past week because I've been working. Ayo, I'm trying my best to just be live so I don't get unlive and get sleepy. So yeah, wherever she's falling off, I'm about to pick up. So yeah, episode 7, navigating friendships, which I think is a great topic for multiple reasons.
and a long,
Que pasta?
a long topic. There's a lot to say.
Yeah,
Like how I'm navigating this right now. when I'm at like a solid 3, and you're at like a 12.
it's like we traded places.
We did. I'm
Not
just
quite like the Usher song, but in a different sense. So, how you want to start this?
So we kind of talked about it last week, um, and how while we both have been on our journeys, we've kind of noticed friendships like start to fall off. And then I've noticed new friendships solidify. And ours has too. Um,
After
it
12
really
years,
does.
goddamn.
So, I mean, I think this is important to talk about because when you're dealing with some sort of mental health issue, friendships is almost one of the first things to go out the window if you, or like when you don't have your shit under control, pretty much. Um, yeah, I've had issues with friendships probably my entire life, honestly. Um, some of it on my end being super antisocial. Like when I was little, my uncle took me to his lady friend's house, and her daughters were like, "Look at our Barbies, look at our toys, come play with us. You want to hang out?" And he said I tucked my little self under his arm, and I was just like, and then I was like, "Oh God, I want to go home." Just stay there. So, antisocial baby from day one. What's up? Until you know me, then I don't shut up. That's my specialty. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say. Friendships have been super hard for me my whole life. I've always been friends with boys. I always was playing outside, running around, acting like a crazy person, climbing trees, climbing rocks, jumping off stuff. I was never reckless. I just was wild. Like, there's a difference. I wasn't making reckless decisions like, let me jump out of this tree and see what's going to happen. But I was going to be in the tree and then climb down safely. So there's a difference. Still like that. What's up?
Smart and adventurous kiddo.
Uh, and now, I mean, I've had like a couple of friends that just stuck for whatever reason. And most of the people that are still friends with me are those who just attached themselves to me and decided they weren't going away, even if I tried to get rid of them. Um, hey guys, hi, love you. And yeah, that's where all my friends came from. I was not really good at making friends myself. Didn't like talking to people. I've had situations where, like, I had girlfriends that I would have so much fun with and be like, oh, let's have another sleepover. And I would plan it all out, and they would be like, oh, no, we don't really want to. And then I would find out later that they did my plan without me. Um, Super
Bitches.
frustrating. I've never really liked girls for that reason until recently. Heyo. And now that I feel like I'm getting all of my stuff put together, I am just attracting all these super badass women, and I love it. It's so nice. I've been so anxious about female friendships forever. So this year and last year, it's just been like, oh my God, they love me. Who I am. So it's really cool. I don't know. I feel lucky. Um, your turn. Go. Intro. Oh.
Intro? I mean, I've been weird with friends in fucking general. When it came to women, I didn't know how to fucking talk to them. When it came to dudes, I did not feel comfortable around them. So it was just kind of like I just preferred not to get too close to anybody. So if I got too close to a chick and then feelings start building up, it's a one-way street because I don't know, or I didn't know how a relationship even started. It was just like, I like this person. You want to, I mean, you want to do something about it?
Or
And
not.
then, yeah, pretty much. And then, like, with dudes, it's like all my badass and shit. That, it was just like, I don't care. And if anybody else cares, they dumb as fuck. I don't care what you got. I don't care if you think you a cool dude.
Hmm.
That's cool. It's, it's not my type of thing. To me, it's like when it came to friends, we here, we are who we are. It doesn't matter who's better, who's dope, who's doing what. Um, but for me, when I was younger, like I hung out with like I guess you'd call them not really nerd, like geeks, I guess. I don't like using stereotypes like that because it's just like that's some 80s, 90s type of shit. But just the people I hung out with were super into games. That's what we did. We played games all the fucking time. So the friends that I had were built on games. I mean, we said our falling out because some people were, as I said, oh, I've got to be better than you, and not
Yeah,
necessarily talk shit, but just kind of like, oh, this is my score, and I'm way up here, and you here. What's your
trying to
score at?
one.
Like, I don't care, bro. I really don't. You play Guitar Hero fucking 15 hours a day, every fucking day. I come over, I play Guitar Hero for fucking couple hours because I came to visit, and you over here talking shit. Shut your. I need to calm down. Shut your bitch ass up. Basically, what I was gonna say. But yeah,
You're way too rude in here.
just so when it came to people, I don't like people with an ego. People with an ego just put me off. It's like I do not want to be around you because when you talk, it's always gonna be about you. Um,
It's true.
Low key, I have a person at work that does that. Who is my trainer. He talks about himself a lot, but I just deal with it because even though he talks about himself a lot, he's kind of cool, and he's my coworker. It's not like someone I met in the street or went to a restaurant that acted like that. It's like, okay, I don't have to go back there. But anyway, me even friendships, I've always been weird. Um, Me and my homie, his parents live next door, and he was visiting for. I think he was down here for like 2 weeks or something like that, almost. I only hung out with him one time. I hit him up to see how he was doing, and he was like, "Yo, we should kick it and have some beer." We had some beer. He's like, "Yo, tomorrow night we should go hit up Beer Hunter and see if like they're open." I was like, "Bro, that's a good ass idea to be like old times before COVID. Just go have some beer, drink, play some pool." Next day came, I didn't feel that great, so I was like, "You know what? Set it up for the next day." He was like, "Cool." Next day came, and it was kind of like, I mean, I don't want to be the one to text him first because I really don't feel like going. So if he really wants to go, he's gonna hit me up first. But I think he kind of had the same idea of I'm not gonna say shit till he says something because he's probably gonna flake. And it just we didn't do shit. We didn't do anything. And to me, it doesn't bother me, but I know on their end, it's just kind of like, yeah, this dude hasn't changed. He kicks
Mm,
it and then he disappears, which is really not how I am, or that's how I'm perceived. But that's not what I'm trying to do.
right.
With me, it's when I hang out with people. Personally, I'm gonna just be 100% real. I feel like I'm not that interesting of a person. So if you get me in like, I guess, like little snippets, I can be enjoyable. But if you know me too good, it's like I'm just another body in the area, in your space. If we're hanging out, it's like, oh, I'll be cool for maybe a couple hours, and like, oh, let's kick it tomorrow. We kick it tomorrow, and it's like, why'd you even come through, bro? Why are you even out here? So to me, when it comes to hanging out with people, I'm cool with little spurts. Like we can kick it for a couple hours here, and I'll probably see you next month, type of deal. And I don't know. I just feel more comfortable that way. Because then with anxiety and shit, I'm always thinking about what people think of me. So if I hang out in that time, it's like, cool. It seems like we had a good time. Let's just leave it at that. I'm cool with that. Next time we kick it, it'll be the same thing. But there are some people that I've hung out with, and it's been, I mean, I've only hung out with them literally one time, and we have not kicked it ever since. And I'm talking like months. Months on months. I feel bad, but then I don't at the same time. because people are gonna think what they think, and I don't want to burden everyone what I deal with on a daily basis and my reasons for not showing up, because I don't
Mm,
want them to think of it as an excuse because they don't understand.
right.
So if you, I guess if you accept what I'm telling you as what I'm saying, cool. But if you think otherwise, fuck you too, bro.
Have you
I don't
tried
know what to
telling
tell you, huh?
have you tried telling your guy friends about like what goes on for you ever?
There's one dude that I talked to in particular. I let him know what's up. But even him, like as cool as we are, we still don't really talk much.
Mm,
Yeah. Um, yeah. He's been a homie since I think freshman year of high school.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
good.
I tell him shit and we talk. Um, he has like a game room and shit, and he's like, "Yo, you should come over." And I've probably been over there twice in a year.
So, I mean, is it uncomfortable for you to tell people what's going on? Or are you just like trying to prevent the judgment, or do you not feel comfortable disclosing that to other people?
I
Like
would
what?
probably say all the above
Okay.
because I don't want to tell people because I don't want them to not understand what I'm telling them. If I
Okay.
tell them that I'm always depressed and shit, it's like, oh, this dude's just a sad dude and he's always gonna be negative. I'm
Mm,
not saying that's what they think. I just don't want them to think that. And
yeah.
when I'm hanging out with them, especially me, like right now I'm live. If I'm hanging out with somebody, it's kind of how I am. I'm not as fucking snappy as I am right now because I'm tired, but I'm live. And I don't always have this energy. If I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
I want to say, I don't know if it was the last podcast, the one before that, where I was just like, homie said he thought I was just like a still image or something. That's kind of me on a daily basis. Like I'm cooling,
Yeah.
I'm just here. Um, so when I hang out with people in these spurts, when I'm in this mode, I
Mm,
feel like I'm more likable because I'm talking more, I'm more interactive, as opposed to literally being another body just chilling, like at a party and there's wallflowers everywhere. Why are y'all even here? If you're just coming here to drink beer and watch everybody, you know what I mean? That's just how I
yeah.
feel. So I'm a wallflower, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to hang out with somebody and I'm bringing nothing to the table. Like I'm just there. I'm not. I'm not always like this. So that's my reasoning for that. Um, Judgment, not so much. If, like, for example, if I would have hung out with my homie the next day, I would not have been live. I would just kind of been like, whatever. We're out here playing pool, and I would have felt like I'm kind of putting on a front to be
Mm,
like, hey, we're having fun type of deal. And I really was not in the mood for that. I didn't feel like acting like I was having a good time. Um, yeah, the whole depression thing, as we mentioned before, it's always there, and that shit hits me at the randomest times. I mean, it could be in the middle of the day, it could be as soon as I get a thought, it could be when I wake up. It's random. So I want to say that next morning I woke up and I kind of felt sick. We had Taco Bell the night before, and you know how that shit goes. Um, so I called off the the day with him or the night because we were gonna head out to Beer Hunter, and then we set up for the next day. And I was like, "Yeah, I got work. We'll kick it afterwards."
mm,
And we didn't do shit. Like I said, I didn't text him. He didn't text me. We just kind of let it go. Um, and having girlfriends is cool,
mm.
but like they like to talk about girl shit, and I hearing about drama is cool, but like not all the fucking time. I don't like talking to you and then you just talk about drama. Like, what's new with you? Do you have a badass car? What'd you do to it this time? Like that type of shit. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear about how your fucking day went and oh it's been same as always, nothing new. Like I don't care. It's what kind of conversation is that? I hate telling people the same thing. That small talk is like it's pointless. It's literally like rice Chicken and rice. That's basically what it is. Rice is just there. It's like a filler. That's small talk. It's rice. With dudes, I don't like the fucking macho mentality and all that shit because it
Mm,
goes along with the ego thing. Like,
mhm.
what do you have to prove, man? Like, we're chilling as homies with a bunch of dudes. What do you have to prove? There are no females here for you to show out. So what the fuck are you doing? Like, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares. But they don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand why they do what they do. So I don't like hanging out with dudes. The ones that are just cool, like we could kick it and we just talking, that's fine. But the macho dudes or the show off dudes, like if you got a badass car, I agree. Your car looks badass, but shut the fuck up. I don't care that you beat a fucking Mustang yesterday by 3 cars. Like that's cool. Show me the video. If you have a video, that's a lot more entertaining watching that than hearing you talk about what you did.
Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah. It ain't facts unless you can show it. Proof, motherfucker. Can you show me?
I wonder, like, too, while you're talking, how much of that is like a mental health, like, part of your mental health journey, or how much of it is just you naturally being kind of introverted? You know what I mean? Because, like, for me, I'm introverted and, like, naturally, so
Excuse me.
whether my brain chemistry wants to act right or not, I still have a social battery where it's like we can hang out, we're cool, I'm fine. You got me for like 4 hours, maybe 5 hours on a good night.
God
Don't
damn, that's
talk
a
to me
long
for
ass
like,
battery.
don't talk to me for 3 days. Like, I need to just not. Well, that's because I space it out so much. Or like if I hang out with somebody, it needs to be a different person and a completely different activity in a completely different city each time I'm out of the house.
It makes
I'm
sense.
very like, I need stimulation. I
It's
can't,
like
and I've always,
refreshing.
yeah, so I don't get as like burnt out. Where you're
Hmm.
at, that's not an option. And I wonder if that's part of it too.
I mean, my
Yeah.
social battery is legit like 2 hours. For 2 hours, I'm good. Like, you got 2 hours of me being like this, and then after that, I just get like, I literally get tired. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
same.
tired. Like, I don't want to do shit. Are you trying to bar hop? Nah, son. This this is the last bar I'm about to be at. If you trying to bar hop,
Percent less.
yeah. Nah, I got a couple. We bar hop within the couple hours. I'm good. But if you keep on bouncing and then doing all this other shit, it's like we too much of everywhere, bro. We're cool where we're at
Yeah.
right now. We're cool.
First of
We
all,
good.
my liver.
Huh?
Okay. I said, first of all, my liver.
Nah, fuck your liver. When you drinking, you trying to have fun. It's only for a night.
I like my liver.
It's only for a night.
Mm-mm. No, I don't live like that. I
It's
never
only
really
for a
liked it. I
night.
would make, no, I would make myself go to parties in college and be like, I have to socialize. I'm miserable in my room. I'm miserable out of my room. But let me just try it out. Everybody's there. I couldn't. It was so overstimulating and just full of people and shit that I just didn't care about. I've never been a partier. I'm not a hookup. I've never had a random hookup. Not even ever once in life. Okay.
Props.
Thanks. Um, we don't love these hoes. And
Nah, hell
so
nah.
I don't know, it just I would make myself go and I would try to have fun, but with me, like I like one-on-one. I like really like intimate hangouts because I like to really know the people I'm around and I like them to really know me. So even in big events, I just cling to one person and I'm like, this is my buddy today. My emotional support buddy, come here. Oh, look, everybody else is there. That's nice. We're a group, okay, but I'm just like, I
To
don't
that
know
one
why.
person.
I have to. Or otherwise, I'll burn out in like 30 minutes.
Mm.
I'm like, hey, hi, nice to meet you. Hey, hi, nice to meet you. Hey, hi. Okay, we all like this thing. We're all talking about it for 20 minutes. Okay, I gotta go home.
Other thing with that too, everybody likes to talk, and everybody's like fucking talking across each other. It's like, bruh, why are we doing this? Split up, get your lane, and just talk right here. Like, why are we trying to talk over
Imagine.
each other to hear each other with the music blasting in the background?
randomly assigned partners. Here's your talking buddies.
Yeah,
Here's
for
your
real.
talking buddy. You guys go in that corner. You guys got
Mm-hmm.
right.
Red team,
Um,
blue team, green
that would
team.
be awkward. That might be more awkward.
Yeah.
But I think part of that too is not being extroverted because extroverts love that. It's like, oh, we are so hyped being in a big group of people doing this super awesome thing together. Meanwhile, I want to hide under somebody's couch and be like, I'm just going to sleep here and I'm going to hang out with the cat that lives in this house and nobody talk. I'm down here with my little drink. I got a little kitty friend. Dragged my one emotional support buddy under this couch with me and we are hanging out solo style. Um, yeah, that I think that's like interesting to pay attention to because some things do come from like mental health issues, but a lot of it is just who we are. But
Mm-hmm.
we read into it so much because it looks like something else. Like, oh, is this from ADHD and anxiety, or is this just who I am? Like everybody wants to label everything and diagnose everything, and some of it's just human nature. Like, cut us some slack.
Something that I thought about, which kind of ties into this. Remember, I think it was last podcast I was talking about, or maybe it was the one before that. My brain is not working. I'm sorry. I was talking about how when it comes to conversations, how I just kind of say shit, whatever's on my mind, and if someone wants to
Mm-hmm.
respond to it, they can.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the other people. I pay attention to what the fuck I've been saying, especially at work lately, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
responds, and I'm like, because you can't. If someone told me exactly what I was thinking in my head, what the fuck am I gonna say? I don't know what to say.
Oh, I want an
Like,
example. Give me
um,
an example.
the other day, I ordered. Oh, I don't know if I should say that on stream. Fuck it. I ordered a wide body scat pack, and it should be showing up in August. So yeah, I'll show pictures once it shows up, but that's like fucking over 2 months from now. So let's hurry up and wait. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So before I ordered it, I was kind of just chilling, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know if I should get the SRT Jeep or the wide body scat pack. I'm kind of leaning towards the wide body scat pack, but I'm not sure. And that's all I said. I just said that, and nobody said anything. I'm like, this is an example of me just talking out loud and waiting for someone to be like, you know what, I want to talk about that. It, not everybody has the same interests, and even if they did, I mean, there's a porter that likes cars too. He has a Scat Pack Challenger, and he's been like asking and asking about what I'm gonna get next. Besides him, no one gives a fuck. Um, everybody, and we weren't even busy. We were just kind of chilling, people on their phones and shit. And I'll just be saying stuff just because it's quiet, and I'm with them for fucking 9 hours in a day.
Ooh.
Um, I just try and make some sort of conversation, and there's no response. There are some things that I've said that they do respond to, and that's how I know that there is some shit that I say that doesn't warrant a response. I mean, I kind of just say it, and it's like, okay, he's talking to himself, because that's literally that's literally what I'm doing. Is whatever's in my mind, I'm talking out loud, and if somebody wants to bite, they could bite. Um, and that's
Yeah,
something
well,
that I'm trying to stop doing because not everybody needs to know what I'm thinking.
that part's fair.
Yeah, see, you're
I
talking
need
about
to.
nah, they're weird, and you guys are like
That
nah,
is
they're
weird
weird.
because if you
Like,
said that to me, I'd be like, "Ooh, okay, what's the difference? Like, what do you like about each one?" Like, you can respond to that. It's not like, okay, like if it was something like really weird, like if you're standing there and like looking at your phone and it's like, oh, what do I want to eat for lunch? Like, ooh, this place looks good. Maybe I want a burrito. Like, that's fucking weird. Nobody's gonna respond to you and be like, ooh, what kind of burrito? Okay, I would. But most people aren't gonna respond to you and be like, ooh, but you're working with car people at a dealership talking about cars. Like, bitch, say something. It's not that hard.
mm,
Like,
well, one dude owns a Beamer, the one that talks about himself a lot, owns a Beamer,
that
and
makes
the
sense.
other dude owns a Tundra, and I think it's lifted. So
Well, he
like we're
sells.
all different dynamics.
still, you can talk. The cars is the only thing you have in common right now because you're
Mm.
getting to know each other. It makes sense to have a conversation about cars working at a dealership when that's the only thing you know for sure you have in common because you all work there.
How
Like,
much can you talk about cars though?
who are you asking? Because you said Scat Pack, and I was like, huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a porter
Uranium.
that just, I think he started the same day I did. He knows about the cars. He races his shit. I'm not really a street racer, but I've been a part of that scene, and we're kind of on the same page, and we know our shit. But the other dude's like, oh, I like to go off roading with my toys in my truck, and the other dude's like, I have toys to go off roading with, but I love my luxury cars, and I don't go off roading. I don't own anything. I've been off roading probably 4 times in my life, and that's about it. It's not even my
Yeah,
own
but
shit.
here's the thing, and this is good because this is one of those things where it's like the fine line between what is actually your diagnoses, if you have one, when you get one, if you get one, et cetera, et cetera. And like just having social skills, right? Because conversations go two ways.
Mm.
So if somebody's not responding to something that is very easy to respond to, either they're not in the mood to talk, they are distracted on their phones, like you said, or they don't have social skills. Because if you're getting to know somebody, like it takes two people to keep the conversation going. That doesn't
Mm.
all fall on you. Like, how? How? Especially when you're not extroverted.
Because I'm
Extrovert,
watching how they interact with everybody else. Granted, they've worked with them for a while, so it's kind of like a
exactly.
homie shit.
That, sir, is your anxiety sneaking in your head and like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know how to talk. You're literally doubting something you've been doing since you were a toddler because other people don't know how to respond to you. Like that's more anxiety. Like I said, if you're talking out loud about like, I really gotta pee right now. Should I go to the bathroom or should I hold it? And nobody responds to you, like that's on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I say shit like that out loud. I should probably not, but I do. Um, but again, like at least the example you gave, like to me from the outside looking in,
Mm.
that just makes sense. Like that's how I bonded with all of my coworkers. We all just talked about our experience in the field first for like a long fucking time. And it was really tiring and repetitive, but that's just how like getting to know somebody works
Mm.
until you get more comfortable. And now a couple of us are at the point where we just make fun of each other because that's how we actually want to get along. But we had to build it up. And when you're at a job, you talk about that job because that's the thing you know for a fact you all have in common. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. So, like, duh. Who cares what kind of car you like? Bro, I talked to my roommate about cars and he's obsessed with his big ass fucking Raptor with all his Shelby stuff on it, and ooh, I spent $4,000 to register my truck at the DMV, and but I saved money, so it was a deal. And like I couldn't care less. I
Mm-mm.
really couldn't, but I make a conversation out of it because he's so excited,
Yeah.
and I want to like bond and share that moment. And then I talk about chargers, and he's like, "You don't need a muscle car," and I'm like, "I do need it. I need it,
Have you seen one in person, bro? The wide bodies.
bro.
Goddamn.
I will clean it with my tongue." We don't have to get into that. Um, I like Chargers, guys. Um,
They are
but
sexy as fuck.
anyways, hello. Should we have an episode on Chargers? Just like
I
a
don't know
whole
how long it would
slideshow.
last, but we could.
It would be like 30 straight minutes of us looking at different pictures, be like, that ass, that ass, that ass.
Oh, let me see.
But
No, I'm not gonna look it up right now.
I don't know. I feel like the way to get to know somebody is through those shitty, boring conversations because most
Mm.
people expect that. And again, it's a two-way street. It's not one person's job to keep a conversation going. Like if somebody says something to you and they're looking at you, waiting for you to respond,
Mm.
and you ignore them, then that's your fault. That makes you a dick.
That kind of happens.
Yeah, we'll see, then you're a dick. In those moments, that's what you could
Well,
work on.
I have to elaborate on that because the homie that talks about himself, like for example, today,
Oh,
he was talking about how
mm,
he brought in somebody. I
Mm,
hate boring. I have boring conversations.
right.
Oh, is that a question or? Oh, I think it's a question for you.
Me.
Um,
Oh, hello. Stupid. No, not you. Sorry, you don't have to be stupid. I love you.
um. So today, I forgot the conversation started. Oh, I think we were talking about like difficult customers like wanting to square up and shit. And
Mhm.
homie, he was talking to me about something, but it was like indirect. He was talking to homie on the other side of me, and he's like, "Yo, remember that one time that that guy wanted to fight, and then we were gonna fight or some shit?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So when he brought it back here, cause he sits on my right, and homie's like
Mhm.
on my left over here, and he
Mhm.
was saying, yeah, like I used to be a boxer and shit, and I mopped this fool up and whatnot. But when he talks, it's almost like he says something, and then he waits for a response. So
Okay.
like, yeah, and I socked this fool up.
You're
And
stressing
I don't
me.
know if he's thinking or what the deal is, but he like stop, and he's like, and yeah, like I don't fuck around when it comes down to it. It's I boom 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 sock him up. And he was like, there was this one time there was three dudes, and they rolled up on me, and they were talking shit, talking about how I was Mexican, and then I told them that, oh yeah, these girls are with us because white boys are like this and whatnot, and then yeah, they came at me in the first one. I was like, boom, 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 took him out. Second one, boom, 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 took him out. Third one, that one put up a fight. And yeah, it's yeah, you put up a fight, and that's one of the times where I think I kind of got lucky because I was gassed out and did an overhead swing, and I got him then. And yeah, then that's
Please
you get
stop.
lucky sometimes, you know.
Please make it stop.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's how the conversation was
I
going.
get.
And to me, it's like I've already told y'all I don't like people who talk about themselves. So to me, I'm in an awkward position. Like, what? How am I supposed to respond to that? Is that how it is when I'm talking to people? Like, they don't give a damn about what I'm talking about, but I put them in a position where it's like you kind of have to speak to not sound rude or seem rude. That's just how I felt in that in that instance when he was
That's
talking
fair.
to me. It was kind of like because legit, I I legit think he was waiting for a response because he'll say something and he'll be staring at me like this. I'll do the same thing. I just look at him like,
Ew, I don't
yep,
ever want to be in the middle of that. That would
yep.
stress me out so bad.
It,
Oh God.
I'm still getting to know him, so I don't know how he is. But like,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
the conversations are just they go like that, and that's how I feel my conversations are when I'm talking to people about like random shit, whatever's on my mind. Like it's not going anywhere, but I'm just talking to put fucking words in the air, pretty much.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you feel pressured to keep that conversation going with people?
If somebody has like if they're talking to me about something or if I'm saying something.
Either way, like if it goes silent, do you feel pressured to
There's
get
times we're
it
just sitting there and we're not talking at all.
at work? No, I
Yeah,
mean just in general, not at work.
it
Work's different.
depends. Like I feel like people don't like quiet, so I feel like I have to say something, especially when
Mm,
like going back to work. If I have a customer sitting in front of me, I won't talk to them unless they say something. I'll ask them whatever questions I need to ask them and try and get them in and out as quick as possible.
mm.
Some of them like to talk about shit. I half-ass listen. I'm not. I'm gonna be 100%. I half-ass listen because if I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. So in order to get you out quick, Jasmine loves quiet. In order to get them out quick, I gotta shift my focus back and forth to whatever it is you're saying, so I can respond to it without sounding rude, and do what I need to do here without getting distracted. Um,
That's fair though, but that's work. That's like a
yeah,
work
outside of
situation.
work,
Yeah.
I never, I never feel pressured. If I'm saying something, I'm saying what I gotta say, and that's it. And if you come back with whatever you're saying, I'll listen to you, and if it warrants a response, if I could think of something to say, I'll say it. Most times I don't. I can't think of anything to say. It's just kind of like That's
Like the
the
guy at
head
work.
shake. Like, all right, I won't say all right, but it's just kind of like I'm saying all right, but I'm not saying it, type of thing. Because homie to my right, that's all I do when he's talking about is shit. Like, because he was just flaunting, like showing me pictures of his toy hauler, his fucking off roading toys, his Beamer, his Mercedes, and it's like, what do you want me to say to all this, man? Like, I see you got it. I can see it. I know you got it. You don't have
Yeah.
to keep showing me shit. I've seen your
Be
Beamer, even though you haven't pointed
proud.
at it, but it's the because I pull up pretty early in the morning. His
Uh,
car is always sitting right in the front in a spot where employees shouldn't be parked at, but he parks it like right in the front. So as soon as you drive in, you see it first thing.
mm,
And yeah, it's hard for me to have a conversation with somebody who just loves talking about themselves. And I think that's the part of the problem with that conversation is that it's hard for him to talk about anything else but himself. So the conversation is kind of weird. Because now I think about it, homie to my left, I could talk about something, and the conversation, it's all right. It's all right. We've talked about like what he wants to do to his truck. We've talked
mm-hmm,
about females here and there.
mm-hmm.
Um, the conversation is all right. But outside of work, when it comes to people, if I don't have to talk to you, I'm not gonna talk to you. That's just how it is. Like if we're at Beer Hunter, I'm not gonna talk to strangers.
Little
That's
antisocial baby.
I mean I don't have
But
a
I feel
reason
like
to. I'm not trying to
I'm
make friends. Like if I'm out and about, I'm out and about. I'm just minding my own business.
yeah, and I feel like too it's kind of like again there's different like there's introverts and extroverts. I'm super introverted. We've got somebody in our chat who knows that very well, who had to force friendship upon me for an entire year before I accepted it. Um, um, but a lot of people too, even like when I'm working as a therapist, it's interesting. Like you can see the people who are kind of raised to who are raised to talk about themselves. And I think that's how people relate to each other. Because my ex was like that too. Like everything you said, it was like, oh me, oh I did this, oh me, oh I did this. The other part of it is like I don't know how much you all pay attention to your zodiac signs, but if you have a Leo anywhere in your chart, like you're probably one of these people. I'm just saying. Um, sorry. It's true in my
Real quick,
experience.
on the other
Yeah.
side of that, when people
Mm.
talk about themselves, isn't that more of like a relatable type of thing?
I feel like they mean it that way. I don't like it either outside of work. Obviously, at work, like they have to talk about only themselves because
Mm.
that's why I'm there. Um, I think I know what kind of talking about themselves you're thinking of. It's like I don't know. It comes off as like
Kind of like, hey, I've been to EDC before, and this, and that. These
oh,
shows were
don't
dope.
say
I'm like,
anything
hey, yo,
bad.
I've been there too, and I've seen this, and that. That's more of what I'm talking about.
People trying to like force their way in
No,
to the conversation, or kind of like, or people that are like, "Oh, pay attention to me. That has to do with me."
no.
No,
I
okay,
meant.
well,
I'm thinking that that's what you think that like not that's what you think, but that's what you don't like is people that come
no,
in
the
like
one,
that.
no. That's fine. I mean, I do that too, kind of, but I do it more with body language than just
Mm.
like flinging myself in a conversation. What I'm thinking of is experiences I've had where I'm going to give a dramatic example. But actually, no, I have a better one. When people are like getting to know me and I say that I'm vegan, and that like instead of asking me to get to know me and my reasoning, like, oh, what made you go vegan? Or hey, is it hard for you? Or like, oh, that's really cool. What's your favorite food? Like, trying to get to know the other person, it's like, oh yeah, I went vegan for 3 days and I hated it and it was so awful and I just have to eat meat. And it's like,
Yeah,
I didn't fucking ask you.
yeah.
You asked
I agree
me.
with that. I
Okay,
definitely agree.
that
Yeah.
I cannot stand. And I've had a bunch of guys like that have been interested in me, or people that I've even been friends with that do that constantly. Like my ex, everything out of somebody's mouth, that was his response. oh, well, my experience was, and it's like, nobody asked you. Like, let these people share their experience first.
Yeah.
And then if you want to share later, we could do that, but don't just like fling yourself in the middle of somebody else's story to like put the spotlight on you. Like, shh,
Yeah, because
selfish
then
bitch.
even after that, you know it's weird when it's like quiet. It's kind of silent after they talk about themselves, and it's like, do you not feel the awkwardness of you just butting in talking about yourself right now when the yeah when it was somewhere else?
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that likes to be on the outside, seeing that. That is entertainment.
I'm the asshole who makes sure that person knows that I disapprove of whatever the hell they just did. And I'm just like, so anyway, you were saying, because it's just so annoying. Like, I don't know. That's the part I can't stand. But then you have to think about it too. Like, that's them being socially awkward, or your communication styles just don't match. Neither of you has to be wrong.
Mm,
It just doesn't go together. That's it.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia.
And communication in general is such a difficult skill for so many people to get a hang of that you can't expect to maintain a conversation with everybody you meet, because we can't even communicate with our romantic partners well enough to solve a problem without screaming at each other.
That's a
So how
fact.
the hell are you going to have a conversation with everybody you meet? Like, just keep that in mind. It's not all you. Maybe a couple of times it might be you with that
Mm,
guy though, and you just being like, I would do the same thing and be like,
yeah. I try to.
and so
I try to be nice.
a nod is nice. It's reassuring. You're showing him that you're still listening. You might not have thoughts. That's fine. You don't have to have thoughts on everything somebody says all the time, because that's what my ex would do. Oh, but me. Oh, but me. Oh, but me. Bitch. Then nobody asked about you.
Stop it.
Weren't you
Get some
like
help.
20 feet over there? Remember when you shut up? Like, do that part. Anyway, I'm being mean. Okay. Anyways, so we're already nearing 8 o'clock. Jesus.
Can't believe it's been
Uh,
an hour. Time is just fucking.
I know. So here's the cool part of what I've noticed with myself and my kids and you, and just what I believe about friendship in general,
Mm,
is that when you're starting to become more aware of what you're going through, more outspoken about your journey, and you don't feel a sense of shame about it, then the people that are going to support you and hype you up just come to you and they stay. The people that don't understand it, the people that judge negatively for those experiences or
mm,
think you should be embarrassed or should be ashamed, they'll call themselves out. They'll point themselves out, which is good in my opinion, because even if it's a lot of people, and it's bound to happen at some point in your journey, because it's just a part of life. It's
yeah.
not just only people with some diagnosis, it's everybody. Um, I like that part because I don't have to do the dirty work and I don't have to do any of the digging. You called yourself out. I had to learn that you're the person that's not going to be there for me, and I just get to, and
Snipper,
then you
snip.
can take that energy and put it into those relationships of the people that are doing extra for you. Like, if you're doing extra for me, I'm going to do extra for you. If you're not even doing the bare minimum for me, like, you just got to go. I'm not even going to not do the bare minimum for you. You just have to go. Um, and I've had to lose a lot of like really close friends that I've had. Like, when I was in college, two of my, actually almost all of my best female friends from college are just MIA. Like, I don't talk to any of them anymore. Um, and my mom tells, she's like, you just grow apart. Like, it's just a part of life. It just happens. And I'm like, yeah, but they shouldn't have done this and they pissed me off. And how come they can't try? And I always send text messages and they don't respond. And my mom's like, it just happens. Like, you don't need them anyway. And my mom is like just so chill, but like, fuck 'em. Which is nice to have her. But obviously it's hard in the moment. It feels like it's your fault. Like,
Mm.
why are all my friends disappearing? And when you get focused on that thought and you think about all the friends you've lost over the years, it can start to feel like this avalanche of, holy shit, something's wrong with me because I don't have anybody. But then if you could take a step back out of that anxiety and depression, which is where those kinds of thoughts come from, just recognize that, like, hey, my brain is tripping right now,
Mm.
and I'm going to wait till it's done. And you take a step back and you can look at the big picture where it's like everybody loses friends all throughout their life. Nobody sticks around forever. You outgrow certain people for a reason. Maybe they turn into somebody else. It doesn't have to be you. Maybe they turn into someone else.
Yeah.
Maybe they were faking your friendship from the get and they couldn't keep it up anymore. Like, you never know. Um, and just like thinking about the people who really want to be there for you are going to stick to you. And in order to find those people, you have to be brave enough to be yourself. And when I gave myself permission to do that, I stopped holding on to the friends I thought I should have. And I started to just really accept and love the friends that I naturally had, no matter how cranky I was, no matter how long I fell off the face of the earth to go deal with my whatever I was going through, in and out of relationships, it didn't matter. Like, those people don't shake. Um, like some of these lovely people in the chat right here are a living proof, but you don't meet those people until you're brave enough to just be yourself. If you're
Mm.
putting up a front, you're going to attract other people that are putting up a front, and then it's temporary.
Story of my life.
I know, but you got one who wouldn't go away.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of had to keep you around because you almost left me in the dust.
Yeah, well, you were pissing me off. Remember how we talked about me being perpetually irritated and I have to cover it with hype? Um, yeah. But you are actually the first and possibly the only person that I've done that for, that I've really had to expand on my limits of what I thought were my boundaries with friendship
Mm.
and be able to give you space just to exist the way that you needed to because you're on your own journey. I have no say in that.
Mm.
And I needed to come to the point in my own journey where I was okay with accepting that because I valued our friendship more than I needed to prove a point or whatever the case was. And I learned that from some of these lovely people in this chat over here who have done that for me. And it wasn't until I had those healthy friendships that I knew how to then also be a healthier friend. Um, I just had to see it first. I'm like, whoa, what is this? So weird. You're still here? Confusing.
Has
I
no
wonder if I can do
boundary.
it.
Joel's cool. He's cool peoples. I think
That's true.
I think he's one of the people that I've hung out with like one time, and I think it was is it 4th of July?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting and honestly awkward night or day. It was hella long ago, dude. Like, goddamn. Like being in a spot to where Jasmine's the only person that I know with a bunch of people at a beach where I don't normally go to. It was just kind of like, I'm here. I don't know what
That's
we're gonna
always
do,
fun.
but let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Joel's done that to me 1,000 times too. But then that's where John came from. He's in this chat over here.
Mm.
Um, and I kind of got used to that, which is then when I started doing that to other people because everybody that I hang out with is just so accepting and hey and loving and it's like, oh, somebody's here, welcome, like
Mm.
you're our friend now. And that's how like they all are. And if I didn't leave the desert, obviously I never would have found that in the first place. Thank
That's a
you,
fact.
college. um and it's just it I don't know, it made me change the way I view friendship in the coolest way, where I didn't have to prove anything and I can be sassy and I can pick on cordial. And not only is it encouraged by literally everyone else we hang out with, But he just takes it so gracefully. And even when we first started hanging out, I was still like a cranky, anxious mess all the time. Like I was constantly snapping at him for something.
Mm.
And he deserves 17 awards for tolerating me. And everybody's like, "How do you put up with Joel?" Like joking, but I'm like, "How did Joel survive this?"
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Um, but like I said, your people are gonna find you when you act like yourself
Mm.
because they're attracted to who you are, not the front you're putting up.
I,
And then
I
they're
want
gonna
to
do
say
it.
that's part of the problem, though. I mean, it's weird to say it live in front of like five people. Um, Even just putting it out there in general. I I think I brought this up before when I was bullied. You
Yeah.
laugh. Um, when I was bullied, I felt like whoever I was shouldn't have been who I was. And at that point, I decided to not necessarily change myself entirely, but just be somebody better, I guess.
Right.
Not seem like I'm a chump or something like that. So
Right.
when I went into high school, the freshman year, the homie that I said was has been the homie since freshman year. He's one of the dudes I
Mhm.
used to pick on. I became the bully in freshman year. I used to fuck with everybody,
Mhm.
and it wasn't necessarily empowering, but it was like nobody's gonna fuck with me if I'm fucking with them first, type of deal.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's my go. And then as time went throughout high school, I did that my freshman year, but I didn't have to do it again after. Like
Mhm.
I was still a geek chilling with my friends. We had our own spot by a tree, at lunchtime, in the morning and shit. It was cool, but
Mhm.
even still, I had this persona that I wasn't necessarily a badass, but I was just like somebody you shouldn't fuck with, and
Mhm.
I always felt like I had to be one of those people. Like if they have a party or something, I was at that party. Like I was one of those people
Mhm.
at that party. Like, hey yo, I seen you over there. This and that type of thing. And I held that for a while. And I don't want to talk about it too much, but like doing shit I shouldn't have been doing,
Mhm.
like meeting women and all this shit. At the time, it was just kind of like it was an empty feeling, but it was I felt like it was something I had to do in order to be, I guess, with the cool kids. That's the best way to put it. Not a badass,
Yeah.
but like the cool kids. They would talk about
Right.
experiences that they'd been through, and it was like, shit, let's see how it is for myself. And
Mhm.
over time, it just kind of like became me, or I
Mhm.
thought it was me. And it wasn't up until like recently, I want to say about a year ago or so, after my last relationship, I felt like the way I was perceived in the beginning wasn't necessarily who I was. Because she was about it at first, and this might be anxiety as you call it, but she was into me at first, or we were into each other at first, and then as time went on, I just felt like I was a little bit more relaxed after we were dating for like a month or so.
Mhm.
I wasn't so like I can't. It's hard to say it. Like I'd make jokes and just be like flirtatious and shit. Like when you first talking to somebody, but like after you got them,
Mhm.
like you chill a little bit. You don't have to
Mhm.
be flirtatious all the time or crack jokes all the time because you're hanging out most of the time anyway. So I don't know. I just kind of kicked it for a little bit, and then after a while, her thing was like her personalities are just different. And I'm like, you're not wrong, but at the same time, I feel like who you thought I was wasn't necessarily who I was. And that made me
Yeah.
reflect a lot on this front that I put up to
Mhm.
people. I really need to think about how I'm presenting myself.
Right.
And that comes along with what do people think about me? Because I don't mind being myself, but I just want to make sure I'm being true to myself. So
Right.
if I'm being a certain way with somebody that I know or some random, yeah, when I first meet him, I'm gonna put on a front of being talkative because I don't want to seem rude in the beginning. But if someone knows me, I'm gonna tell them straight up, like, I'm just chill. I don't really like doing much. And when it comes to conversations, I'll let them pick it apart. I don't have to
Mhm.
sit there and be like, oh yeah, yeah, I did this, and that. Like I've been through my shit, and I'm not proud of it. I wish I would have took a different route than what I did, because I feel like all those years I've spent doing that have just left me empty. I'm starting from ground zero, is
Right.
where I feel right now.
Right.
So making friends for me is, I think that would be the issue, is that who I was before, I had friends with who I was before, and seeing how they were, I never really agreed with it, but we were just friends because we were like in the same loop.
Hmm.
Um, we're all into the same shit, and now it's like I don't have friends that sit at home and play games and just chill. This I used to when I was in was it high school? I had one friend in high school that was down to game all the time. But
Hmm.
besides that, like now that I don't really got friends like that, and I don't. On top of that, I really don't like being that person. Like, hey, let's kick it, or hey, let's play a game, or hey,
Hmm.
let's go do something. Like, I'm not that. I'm not that kind of person. If you hit me up, I'll probably like, yeah, it sounds cool, but my mood changes like by day. I could be down for it today, wake up tomorrow, and not be in the mood for shit.
Right. Right.
Um, and that's the other thing too. But yeah, friendships are tough, and being true to myself is something I've been working on for a while now. And I would say it's probably been about a year that I've been reflecting on who I
Hmm.
am and how I present myself. Because I don't want to be. I don't want to be looked at as who I'm not.
Right. Right.
So like I try and put it out there, like this is me, and I don't know. I'm not explaining it right. I can't put the words together, but it's been a long journey, and I'm trying.
Right.
And I don't plan on making any friends because I really don't want to sound like a dick, but I really don't care. Um, Going back to the last podcast, I feel alone as it is anyway, and having a friend is not going to make it any better. At least I don't think so. I didn't mean for it to get dark, but sorry about that.
Awkward. No. I think that makes sense because you talking about being bullied early on, like bullying is a trauma.
Mm,
And if you've never talked through that, if you've never worked through that and realized, like, hey, how did being picked on affect me, especially at that young of an age, it's going to change the way you view yourself and it's going to make you feel unsafe in friendships. And that's the same thing that I was talking to you about before we started streaming, where I feel unsafe in relationship. Um, and I think we can do an episode on this separately because I can go into this for years
I think
about
we
how
should do
those
one specifically for relationships.
and
Episode 8.
attachment styles. Um, but yeah, so just to kind of sum it up, I mean, bullying is a trauma. If one of your early experiences with friends is that they don't like you for who you are, or they're picking on you for who you are, your body to protect you is going to say, it's not safe in the world for me to be myself. And you are going to have to spend a very long time figuring out what habits you have that came from that,
Mm,
what thoughts you have that came from that. And you're going to have to challenge yourself to do the opposite, to retrain your brain that, hey, this was unfairly dumped in my body by somebody who decided that they were going to bully me because they had their own issues and they didn't know how to handle it. So they took it out on me. And I need to retrain my brain to come up with a new thought process. So instead of right now, like somebody doesn't respond to you, you feel uncomfortable, and then you go to, it must be me. I don't know how to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas somebody
Or
who's
have a
not
conversation.
bullied, right? Somebody who's not bullied might be like, somebody doesn't respond, feelings don't really change, I'm indifferent to it. Maybe they don't feel like talking today. I'm cool with it. And it's about like rewiring because you've been feeding into that same chain of thoughts for so long, your
Mm-hmm.
brain thinks it's the right one, so that's its go-to. But that's the thing about trauma. It wires our brain in a way that can be harmful to us. And we don't know it because that was such an early experience. We don't know anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start to realize that, hey, not everybody's having this strong of a reaction emotionally or mentally to the same situation, what's different for me? Where did this come from? When did it start? And how do I change it? So for me, I have to do that in relationships. And instead of thinking like if somebody doesn't want to talk to me every single night, it's not because like, oh, they got bored with me and they don't like me or they found somebody else, which is those are all my go-to thoughts. And then when people look at me, they're like, I'm like, I can't help it. So I have to retrain myself to be like, we're adults now. Like, they're probably just as busy as I am. And
Yeah.
then flip it around. Like, I have nights where I don't respond to people, and it's not because I love them any less. It's just like some days I'm burnt out to the point where I really don't even have the energy to be like, hey, I'm burnt out today. Talk to you tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
that's too much. I can't do it. And I have to remember that other people are allowed to have those days too. And I have to retrain my brain like, okay, stop going to the worst case scenario. It's okay. Because the more people you meet, like not everybody's like that. And that's your first sign of like, okay, I've something in my life has affected me differently
Mm-hmm.
than how other people around me who haven't had that experience are responding to the exact same situation. Um, we can go into that. That's a whole talk. I think it'll be really beneficial to go through
Yeah.
because we're carrying thoughts and expectations and things that are not who we are, and they were literally a result of some shitty early experiences that we had no control over, and now it's our job to undo them though. That's the thing. It's not our friend's job to fix it for us and prove themselves to us. It's not our romantic partner's job to make us feel so healed and so safe and fix us. It's our job to recognize what we're doing that's not helpful and put in the work
Yep.
to undo it. So, next episode maybe?
That's a fact. Oh, maybe that is next episode. What you mean?
Yay!
I
I'm gonna
think
prepare
honestly, I
some.
think that episode would help out a lot of people, especially some people that I
Okay,
know that are might even be in here right now.
you got it.
As far as relationships go, I mean, I
Yeah.
got stories for fucking days of shitty and good relationships, and you have some very interesting stories of shitty and somewhat good relationships.
I got
Um,
dramatic.
huh?
Said I have dramatic stories.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if they're interesting.
But
But I would want to focus more on how our early experiences kind of set the stage for our patterns going forward and how we can fix that. Not necessarily specific situations as much, but the actual psychology underneath it and
yeah,
how to change it.
not like a story time. I mean, stories are stories, but the whole point of this
Welcome
is
to
to dive deep. Dive
Ooh,
deep.
I'm about to dive in.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I think that'll be a good episode for
I'm down.
next week. If you guys are into it, want more of this shit, spread the word. Nice to get some more people in here to see what's up. Maybe even get some insight on what they think. Have them say a couple things. Appreciate y'all
Yeah.
stopping by. Joel speaking his mind. I'm for real coming through. Whoever else is lurking in the background. If you guys have any questions, we here. Got any suggestions? We here. Say something. I don't know
I
if
just
anybody
realized
gets that
John's
reference.
username
Huh?
I just realized John's username is Pho. Is it supposed to be Pho? And why am I just realizing that like 3 years later?
I was thinking for real,
I
like
was
for
too. No,
real.
I have this entire time, but then whenever we hang out, we go get Asian food. So I'm like, wait, is this food related? Uh, he's weird. Be nice.
So mean. Well, I take it we don't have any questions. Um,
Thanks for popping in.
yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Very much appreciated. Per the usual, we've been going for about an hour 15, legitimately about an hour, and you guys still dedicated that time to us. It is always appreciated.
Thanks
Um,
for letting me harass you into joining.
what the fuck was that?
I'm not.
We had the mic drop last one, and then we got the. Anyway.
Aw.
um, yeah, appreciate it, man. It's the fact that you just woke up and you popped in. That's what's up. Um, yeah, next week, talk about relationships, all
And
that good
attachment
shit.
styles.
What?
And attachment styles.
Yeah, whatever those mean.
We're bringing the psychology into this.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, what he said. Yes, sir. Um,
Sleepy baby.
yeah. Speaking of sleep, I'm about to go to sleep. Not right now. I'm a night owl, so it's gonna be later. It's gonna
I'm
be
a
so fucking nice to finally go to sleep. This going back to work has been tough. Tough. I forgot what it was like to be a working human being.
Overrated.
It is. I was gonna do Lyft. I've been seeing some shit about Lyft drivers getting their necks bit off and shit. I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. It's some crazy shit. I'd rather just deliver food. Fuck it. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week on the next episode of the new co-op.
I love you.
Thank y'all. Much appreciated.
Knockout. You win.